Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode here in Kuzil Technologies. Today we are going to re-record episode 6. So I had a video already made, and well actually I had it recorded, and when I went to look at the recordings, the left hand side of the screen, it's like it was split right down the middle, and what should have been on the left was on the right, and what should have been on the right was on the left. And there was no way to fix it. So I had to throw that away, and we're going to start over today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I went and checked that video, and that worked out pretty well, that intro, so that recorded correctly. So we're going to hope that the rest of this video records correctly as well. Some of that stuff happens, I think what it was is I had to update the GeForce experience, which is the engine that's running the recording software in the background. But you don't need to know that. Anyway, into the video here. I have been doing a lot of work since the last episode. Setting up, if you look at the mini map there, I'll zoom in a little bit. Setting up the quadrants, the sectors that we're going to be using in our videos. And you'll see a bunch of stuff over here that you haven't seen before. Don't worry about that. We're going to recreate. This is what we recorded in the last episode, is this machine here. And not in the last episode, sorry. In the trashed recording. So this is going to be the thing that we're going to remake today. I did want 2 of them, so it gives me an opportunity to go ahead and do that on camera, which is kind of nice. So I'll explain that to you once we're done, and then I'll show you the results of how powerful that machine there is. So I was going to go do something. Yeah, so basically we have, I'm going to zoom back out here on the mini map. If I go to journey map here and look at this, we're going to have all of our sectors powered, like I said, by turbines. So in the middle here there's going to be a rather large extreme reactors reactor making steam, and that steam is going to be piped out through really cool looking pipes. I've got a really interesting system designed, and that's going to be creating our power. Now, water, when you use the steam turbines, that steam is going to condense after spinning the turbines back into water, and we're going to send that water back into the reactor to heat up using yellorium, back into steam, and then pipe it back. So it'll be back and forth on 8 different machines here. Those turbines are going to power each of the systems. And I'm going to set the turbines here. I thought about putting them here, but I like the idea of putting them out kind of far, and I'm going to put them kind of at the intersections of all of these. I thought about putting them in the middle here, but then finding out where that was, this actually took me an age to get the diameter of this circle. I think this is something like 93 is the diameter here, 93 blocks. And then the diameter of this one is like, I don't even remember. Anyway, this one didn't take me nearly as long as getting this one right. But once I got this one right, the big one, then it was no problem running the different pieces out to it. But yeah, so I'm going to be running the turbines and the power, and that's going to be really, really cool looking. And then those are going to feed the power for whatever sector they're attached to. Now, the other thing that I want to do is we're going to be getting into some really interesting power storage systems and transfer networks. So what I might do is I might send that power into a central, through like really cool nodes into a central storage system, and then redisperse that out as needed. So it would be more like, if you imagine kind of like a larger, it's gonna probably be bigger than any of these machines that you're seeing here, any of these systems, feeding out through a pipe going out to right about out here. That turbine is going to be spinning, sending stuff back. The water back, steam going out, and then the power that it's producing there is going to be sent into the middle, and then that's going to be dispersed kind of however we need it. So that'll be really cool looking, and I can't wait till we get there. But let's get into today's episode. One of the things that we're going to be getting into earlier game than not is the processing of this oil here. There's a lot of oil here, and we really lucked out having it right there. So we will be getting into that pretty soon, I think, after we get a lot of this mechanism stuff worked out. Okay, I relocated my my farms here. I had them set like right over here, right in the middle of where this circle was coming in. And so I moved them up here. This is going to be our farming sector for the various different farms that we're going to need, the product, organic products. We're going to start off with big lots like this. And as we progress in technology, we'll shrink them down into a single block and there's something called a garden cloche that's used by immersive engineering. And the garden cloche basically is like an automated it's a 1x3, I think maybe 1x4 block. Not too expensive actually, but we're gonna get into that and start automating some farms over there for some stuff that we need, especially for things like this. But that's gonna be a little bit later for sure. So let's actually get started with today's episode. You're gonna see me dumping into these chests, grabbing resources for today's episode. Try not to pay attention too much to what you see because it's going to be rather overwhelming. That's the point of this machine here. What this does is it collects resources for us from underground. It actually removes those blocks. If we go underneath here, we won't see any resources. That's kind of what this is for, is to look, scan underground, and grab those resources and put them in a chest for us. It's really powerful, really expensive, but it is called the digital miner. And one of the benefits of having made this already is that we have two machines here that are needed for it, that if you're playing along with us, you're going to need to go ahead and make these two machines. I recorded me making these machines, but of course that recording is not available. So this first one here is called a Pulverizer from Thermal Expansion. And what it does is it does pretty much the same thing as what the enrichment chamber does or what the crusher does, depending on how you look at it. The enrichment chamber will take like an ore and break it down into 2 dust. The pulverizer will do that as well. The crusher can take some things and turn it into dust. The pulverizer can do that as well. So if I were to take a piece of iron here and stick it in the pulverizer, it would break it down into usable pieces. Now this is going to cost me an iron, but at this point, you'll see at the end of the episode, I'm not really concerned about losing 1 iron anymore. So that's 2 iron dust. That can be then fed into an energy smelter and cooked down. But what we're going to use it for today is grinding down some obsidian. So we're going to take 2 of these and we're just going to let these start grinding down while we're doing that. Kind of something else, just a heads up. As you're watching, you'll notice that my tools are rather good. I went to the Nether, and to do that, I'm going to pop over here to the in the mining dimension. It will not light. So just a heads up, that's not something that you can do. So you got to come back over to the overworld, set up your portal here somewhere, and then you can get to the Nether. Come back into the overworld and then go back to the mining dimension. So it's kind of some realm hopping here, but that's okay. I don't mind. I think that's kind of a cool aspect of Minecraft that I haven't explored yet. So I went in here, made a little building around my portal so that it wouldn't get blown up by ghasts, and then went around and just picked up some resources. I haven't upgraded any of this, and we're not going to upgrade these past this. I'm not going to put any upgrades in it, and then a diamond on the Matic. So just so that they last longer when I'm down looking for specific resources. And at this point, I'm not looking for ores or anything like that anymore. I'm more looking for building resources, and I can use this to find those as well. But I'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at here is, you'll notice that the digital miner graphic is missing. And also when you put it into your hotbar, it is missing. So make sure that when you make it, you know where it is. When you hover over it, it will tell you, just like, like when you hover over these, where it is. But when you place it down, it's a 2x2 tall and then a 3x3 machine. So it is rather large. But we're going to make one today, and we're going to stick it in the nether so that we can start collecting cobalt, ardite, glowstone, really any ore that is from the nether, quartz, of course. And then something called draconic dust, which you haven't seen yet. So let's get started. You've seen us make steel casing before, so let's start making a bunch of that. I'm actually going to grab a few of these. Now, I don't remember if it was the episode that I lost or if it was the episode before where I showed you that instead of using a single piece of charcoal in the metallurgic infuser, you're going to want to stick it into the enrichment chamber. So if I say something in this episode that you've seen before, like episode 5 or 4, please forgive me. It's been a couple days. It's been some pretty hectic days actually, so I haven't really recorded, and I don't remember which video I've said what in. So what this does is this will compress the carbon, and at this point, this no longer. Here, I'm going to take this out. It no longer matters whether you put in coal or charcoal, right? So this is compressed carbon. We got that from charcoal. You can put in coal in here, and you're going to get compressed carbon. What this does is this is 8 times the value. So where a piece of coal will give you 10 carbon in here, the charcoal will give you 20. The compressed carbon will give you 80. So one single piece of this is enough to process 4 pieces of iron. So I'm going to stick that in there, and that's going to be enough for 8 pieces of steel. I'm going to grab another 2 of these, and I'm just going to cook these down, and I'm just going to make 8 more of these. So let's grab some more iron, because I know we're going to need a bunch more. I would like to make extra of these just kind of sitting around the crusher. Maybe not, maybe just the enrichment chamber and a smelter, like an extra one of each of these, so that I can do stuff like this without messing up my flow of items here. I'm going to stick this in here and put in some more pieces. So we'll just get that going. Let's grab some compressed redstone, and I'm just going to make a bunch of this stuff. Let's grab some more redstone, and we're going to compress this down into some more. We're just going to stick that in here and make some more enriched alloy and some basic circuits. I don't know how many of these we're going to need. 5 might be enough. I don't know. So let's grab some more osmium as well. I don't know if I have any. There we go. So I'll do this in sections of 8. So here we have enough to do 8 pieces of osmium or iron, either one. So let's grab this out of here. And I think it's going to be a little bit before we can stick osmium in there, so we'll have to work on getting iron. So iron's going. And while that's working, we're going to try and make a couple of these other things. I don't think that's going to happen because we need iron for each of these. Okay, so the atomic alloy, we're going to make this using compressed obsidian, and that's kind of what we were crushing it over here for. So I'll go through all these steps as we get into it. Don't worry about it. So right now I'm just making a bunch of stuff and talking while I do it. I could probably cut here if I needed to, but we can get this started. See how this is going. I think in the next episode, once I have this made, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick all of this up and move it to where I want it, and it's going to be in its own proper sector, and it's going to be dedicated for the multiplication of the yield of our ores. So when we get ores, we're going to stick them into the purification chamber. And actually, after today, we have enough to move into the 4 times ore processing. We probably have enough material to get into the 5 times ore processing, but that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, so we will do that eventually over time. Okay, let's stick this in there. Actually, let's grab, where was that from? Let's just make a bunch, just like we're doing with the iron. And we do want to put speed upgrades and silence upgrades in these, and efficiency upgrades, and we have quite a lot of resources now, so we can do that. So I'll probably do that in the next episode with you. Okay, how are we doing here? So we can start these back over. We have perfect amount in there. Get 4 in here. There we go. Okay, now that we have some iron and still going, let's start looking at some of these pieces. Okay, so the steel we're going to have very shortly. Here's our piece of, let's put all that back in there. Grab our glass. Don't have any glass. Did I have any in this? I might have had some in here, yeah. And then our steel here. So I'll grab 4 of these. Stick them in here. Now I do have quite a lot of these. What I did was I made a bunch of furnaces and then filled them up with tiny coal and cobble to make all of this stone. This is going to be our floor level here. This is just kind of like a marker. All of our walls are going to stand on top of this. And this inner circle here is going to be a single building. The idea being that this is the main control for our different pieces. And actually this isn't as big as I wanted it to be, but I think it will serve our purposes just fine. So I kind of want to do some really cool designs with this. I didn't do any really interesting designs. I made a bunch of squares in the farming series. So yeah. I would like to do something different in this series. Okay, there's that. And you're making this again. Okay, run over here and we'll make our steel casing. Now, when I made this, I barely had enough resources to make anything. When I made this, the first in the episode that you didn't see, I had just enough, like used every last piece of gold that I had, and it was the perfect amount. Okay, now this is usually the next thing that I make here, the logistical sorter. I would actually like to make 3 of these. So let's grab 1, 2, and then 3. This is for the piston. And then we're going to need 21 iron ingots here to go around the sides. And then we're going to grab 3, that's for the piston as well. And then we're going to grab 12 of these. And let's see how we're doing on wood. 3. 9. There we go. Okay, then we'll make 3 pistons. These things are really cool. These are kind of like if you want to set up a network for your sorters, these logistical sorters are really cool. All right, how are we doing there? 18. There we go, 21, perfect. And then we're going to need 3 of these. So these go on top, these go underneath, and then those go there. I don't believe these stack. So how these work, and I'm kind of wanting to make these and show you. I was going to do that in the episode that you didn't see, so I'm kind of glad that it didn't work. That way I can show you how to use them. Okay, so let's break this down. And we're going to set this on top like this. And we're going to run our pipe off of here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. Okay, so this is going to do round robin on, default auto eject, and now if we wanted to, we could set up where we want each of these things to go, right? So we would say item stack, we're going to move these, and we're going to only move those or something like that. But what this does is, as this would kick them out, let's take, it should be moving them. Let's see. Oh, it's got to be powered? Yeah, I forgot about that. I did not know that that was actually a thing. I need a power logistical sorter? Since when? No. Maybe I need to look into how to use these things. Or do they only come out of boxes? Out of chests? That could be a thing. So we won't use that here just yet. Bummer. Now, this is going to be an issue, so let's grab our configurator. I'll show you how to use that later. And we're just going to right click on here until it's no longer in there. Shoot. Okay, well I guess we could use it now. That's unfortunate. That's okay. We'll stick this over here for now, I guess. And you go in there. So we have our 2. And I think what I'm going to do when I move this over to the sector that it's going to be in, I'm going to set these up to actually cook down all of the biofuel. Those will be sent into a chest, and then we'll use a logistical sorter to move those into our generators in a more efficient way. I'll show you how to do that later. But for today, let's grab the rest of the steel dust. Okay, so we've got these 4 things made. Now let's take a look at the teleportation core. It's going to take 2 of these, 2 of the atomic alloys each. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, and then this takes 7. Okay, so we're going to make 7 of these. And those are made by putting, like I said, the compressed obsidian into a metallurgy confuser like we do for redstone and coal. And then we feed it into a reinforced alloy. Okay, the reinforced alloy is diamond and enriched alloy. So let's take 8 of these. I have an extra one here because of what we're doing now. We'll grab 2 diamonds, and we're going to cook those down like that. Okay, we're going to compress them rather than using 8 diamonds in here. So that's empty. So we'll stick these in here. And the reason I'm making 2 is because we're going to put we're going to be putting, let's see, is it the robot? This takes the pulverized obsidian into the diamond dust, which is why I put 2 pieces of obsidian in there. So once these are made into reinforced alloy, I'm going to dump that in there. We're going to cook up the pulverized obsidian, and that's going to give us the dust. We're going to turn 2 of those into the Pulverizer, condensed obsidian dust, and then we'll use that to make the reinforced alloy. I've already got extras. This is all from the previous episode. I just wanted to go through it with you, so that way you had an idea of how to do all of this. Okay, that's almost done. I could use some more iron. We go through it rather quick. That's okay. We can make a bunch at a time. And these are keeping up mostly. I feel like this is not doing as well, but we're full in power here. That's okay. I moved all of my... I made 4 more of these solar panels to run this, and I'll tell you why I did that. And I took the solar panel off of this, so we're running solely on this biogenerator here. Now that this one's empty, this one should start dropping, and both of them are running now, which is good. That's what we want. Okay, these are done. Let's cook up the pulverized obsidian, and we'll stick... we can't do that. So, how many do we have in here? 240. So So let's stick 8 of these in there, make some more circuits just for later. Oh, it's osmium? It looks just like iron. But anyway, now that we have these cooked down, we are going to get, that's how we get this reinforced obsidian here. Okay, and that's going to give us... Take that out. Do this. I think I just needed to make one of these. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, this right here is going to give us the 7 atomic alloys that we need. And then we can go ahead and start making these teleportation cores down here, and we'll have everything made except the robot. So as you can see, it's actually not that complicated. There's 4 different alloys, right? You've got your... is there 3? Okay, you've got your 3 different alloys. You know how to make the Enriched Alloy, right? That's redstone and iron. If you compress redstone, 1 piece of redstone into compressed redstone can make 8 Enriched Alloy. Okay, you compress a diamond into compressed diamond. Feed your 8 alloys, your 8 Enriched Alloys into that, and you'll get 8 reinforced alloys. Compress a single obsidian dust, which I showed you how to do that, into the compressed obsidian, and feed that into your 8 reinforced alloys, and you get your 8 atomic alloys. Just like this. Okay, so I'm going to set these over here because we'll probably use that again someday. Alright, do I have 8 iron? I do. So we're just going to make some more atomic alloys. We're going to definitely need all of these at some point, so I'm not too bothered by it, making all of this extra stuff. Okay, so we've got, let's grab one of these and one of these. Stick all this back. And then we're going to grab 8 lapis, 4 gold, 2 diamonds. So 8 lapis, 4 gold, and 2 diamond. Cook that all up. We got 1 diamond or 1 gold here, but so that right there is going to be our plus the gold, of course, is going to be our teleportation cores. Now we can start working on the robot. The robot's going to be one single steel ingot, which you know how to make, so we'll grab that. An atomic alloy, which we know how to make. I'll grab that. And then it takes 2 of these energy tablets, which you know how to make. Those are 2 enriched alloy each, so I'll grab all 4 of these. 8 redstone and 6 gold. So 8 redstone and 6 gold. And then these 2 down here. These 2 pieces down here are why we made what's called the osmium compressor. The osmium compressor is not that complicated to make either. It is right here. So it is the enriched alloys, which you know how to make, buckets, which are easy, steel casing, which you've seen me make a couple times now, and then what's called these advanced control circuits. And these are just 1 basic control circuit, which is the redstone and osmium. Redstone and osmium, and then 2 enriched alloys on either side gives you an advanced control circuit. So here that's just a little bit of redstone and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pieces of iron and 2 pieces of osmium. We'll make that. So that's not too bad. And what this does is you take a piece of osmium. We're going to take 2 because we need 2. And let's go back to our digital miner. And you're going to put in 1 of this reinforced dust. Okay, so let's grab 2 of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in 1 at a time. So when you put this in here, see how that's not quite at 100%? If you put another one in here, that will fill that up to 100%, and then you're going to be short on your next craft for some reason it works out just fine if you put in one at a time. But if you put in the osmium together, it doesn't quite work out. Now that was several years ago when I tried to use this. The mod author, Brad, I think is his name, may have fixed it by then. But you can go through osmium pretty quick doing it that way. So I generally just do one at a time, just out of habit. Okay, so we are almost done cooking down some of this stuff, and then we'll be good to go. Let me go back through the resources here. So we'll need 2 of these up here, right? And then for down here we have the diamond, lapis, 2 atomic alloys, and then we're just waiting for some gold. And then for the robot we need 1 steel, an atomic alloy, 2 refined obsidian, some enriched alloy here, and then some more gold. So once this gold starts getting processed, we can start making some of this stuff. So there are some really cool things here while we're waiting for that I'll tell you about in mechanism. And they're called, here's the upgrades we're going to be making. So here's, if you're looking to go ahead, to play ahead and kind of get ahead of where we are now. Here's the speed upgrades, the energy upgrade, and then the muffling upgrade. Those are the 3 that you're going to want on your machines. If you want to know how many each of these machines can handle, go into this upgrade spot here, okay, and it will tell you how many of these that you can have when you put them in. So I think it's like 3 muffling upgrades, 4 energy, 4 speed. Actually, I think it's 8 speed, 8 energy. Know that when you put in a speed upgrade, it increases how much energy is needed to run it. So basically, if you do 8 energy, so that bring it down to 1/10 of what it's using now. So this machine is using 20 RF per tick. If I put in 8 energy upgrades, that's going to reduce that down to 2 RF per tick. Now, each speed upgrade that you do is a factor of, how does that work? Basically, it reverses what the energy upgrade does by a factor of 2. So 1 speed upgrade is counteracted by 2 energy upgrades. So when you have 8 energy upgrades in this machine, like I said, it'll be down to 2 RF per tick. You add 4 speed upgrades and it will be back up to 20 RF per tick. You put in 4 more speed upgrades and it's going to be much, much higher than that. We will definitely be using all 8 of those down the line. We'll be running tons of power through all of these things and it's going to be really cool. Alright, so let's grab all of our gold. Let's get to crafting and I'll show you how to use this thing. We're going to have to make a couple more things to make this work. Alright, so let's make these. Just want 2 of those. Uh-oh. Stole my atomic alloy. Gimme that back. Alright, so then we're going to make 2 of the... Nope. 2 of these. And then we're going to go ahead and make our robot. Oh, we're missing a personal chest. I forgot about that last time too, because it just didn't see it. That's not too bad. So that's 5 more pieces of steel. So if you want to come in here, look at this, and then the personal chest is there. A circuit, piece of glass, and 2 chests, which I think we have. Okay, so we'll come over here into the robot, personal chest, make that. That thing is pretty cool. If I were to put it down, that's what it looks like. You can lock it so that other people can't use your chest. And picking it up, don't believe dumps your items into the world. I believe it keeps them in there, which is pretty nice. Okay, let's make our robot. And you guys remember the robot? I named it Logan after my nephew. The last time we played with this, I think it was one of my own personal mod packs or something that I had made. And we're short another atomic alloy. How is that possible? I know this thing only takes 7 to make. Oh, there's another one sitting in the machine. Okay, so here's our digital miner. We're gonna keep it there so that we know where it's at. Put the rest of this back where it belongs. Yeah, there's another one sitting there. And then how are we doing up here? We have 8 more. So are we short on anything? Yeah, let's just toss these in there. Okay, now in order for this to work, I'm actually going to stick this up there, so that way we know where that's at. I'm going to grab some... kind of trying to figure out how to use this in the Nether, because I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make a couple things that we've done in the farming series. So if I were to look at power cell, these, right? So the power cells we're going to need are prismarine shards, which we can make from the atomic reconstructor. So I'm going to break and make those. You've seen me make those before. You know how to make those. So I will be right back. Well, I have very quickly run into a problem. These things require emeralds, and I do not have emeralds. So we are going to just stop here. I need to go to some mountains and see if I can find some emeralds. Actually, having one of these in the overworld wouldn't be a bad idea. So let's take these down. That's going to run that out of power rather quickly. We'll take all of these because these will let this thing run in the overworld. And let's make, let's set these aside. We don't need these anymore. And let's make an ender chest. The programmable type here. Except I need blaze rods. I'm not going to go do that. So we're just going to hook up a bunch of chests to it. Just 2 chests, because there's really no point in doing any more than that. And then we'll just kind of keep track. We'll just go up and visit it, I guess, every once in a while. Let's see. That'll be good for now. Yeah. Okay, and we'll reconnect that power back up. So, basic universal cable. Reconnect it there. That should start running again. Okay, let's head to the overworld. Sunset. We should get out there and sleep. As soon as we don't really know, get over there. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Now, where are we in reference to some mountains? I think if I zoom out here, I might have to go looking for some. Oh, right there. So let's run over here and I'll show you how to use this digital miner. How to set it up. And kind of the best starting way to set it up, I think. This will get you resources pretty quickly. And I'll show you just how quickly. Based on what you were seeing, that wasn't nearly everything that I'd gotten. And you were already probably eyes rolling and like the dollar signs showing up. Like, oh my gosh, that's so much stuff that you're getting. Yes, digital miners are amazing, and I missed them in the farming mod. But at the same time, is this the mountains? It does not say. This is Forest Hills. I don't think this is going to be what we want. I don't think there's going to be any emeralds here. There might be. I don't want to go too much farther. Let's go to the top of this hill over here and chop down some of these trees. You know, I really like the Matic. I think I'm going to use it again in the future. It is rather fast, especially with cobalt. Okay, so that all should come down. I'll get rid of this one too. Sakura. Pretty trees. I do not like eucalyptus. I think I've said that before. Okay, here's how to set this up. So like I said, it's a 3x3 by 2. So wherever you point, that's going to be the center of it. So if this is going to be the center, it's going to take up all the 8 blocks around that. Okay, and then we're going to put on the power. Did I put the... Oh my goodness, I didn't bring the power. Okay. We got the cables now. So let's set this like this. Now if I look at this, and you'll notice that there's a bunch of buttons. The first thing that I want to draw your attention to are these buttons over here and this green word panel. Okay, so it says idle, not ready. If I were to hit start, nothing would happen. It's not even using power. But then it says running, ready, eject off. What that means is it's going to use its internal inventory, even if there was a chest attached back here, like this. That's where the stuff comes out. The auto eject wouldn't do that. So I want to turn auto eject on. As soon as you click the auto eject button, here it says that it's on. That doesn't cost any more power. That's just a preference. We can have it auto pull for like if we wanted to use energy cells. I think we could do that if we wanted to transfer power that way. We could be an interesting way. If we want to turn on silk touch, we could do that. So let's take a look at RF that we're going to be spending. Is I think it's based on our settings. It's 40 RF per tick. If I were to turn silk touch on, it jumps up to 240. So we're going to keep that off. So we're going to hit reset so that we can come in here and configure it. And what first thing you're going to do is you're going to set this to 32. That's the most you can set it to. And then 0 minimum being that's the lowest that it will go is bedrock. That's what we want. And we want to come down here to the maximum and look at our current Y value on our minimap, and this is 89. So we want to set this to 89. And then we're going to click on new filter. So now if I were to come back here and show visuals of the area that we're mining, we're going to mine from where we're standing. Actually, 89 is where our head is. It will mine all of these blocks. So if I come out here and take a look at, this is the area that it's mining all the way around, and it's going to go all the way down to bedrock. So anything that we put in there that we wanted to pick up, we could tell it to pick up all of this wood that's here, and it will strip this entire area of wood. But what I'm most interested in is resources. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on ore dictionary. So item stack, we come in here and say chop down all the birch saplings. Or we could say specific material, which could also be birch saplings. Make sure that that's cleared. Or we could do mod ID. We could just set in vanilla Minecraft or whatever. I don't think that actually works. I think we have to actually type in a number here, which I don't generally do. So what I like to do is I like to look at the ore dictionary. And then what I'm going to do is if you look at this, there is the way, if you type in ore in JEI, you'll notice that all the things is something something ore, something ore, something ore, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do star ore, lowercase. And what the star does, it says that's just a symbol for anything that precedes the word ore. Save it. Nope, we did that wrong. So it's going to be ore with a star at the end of it. There we go. You'll know you did it right if your the images of the different ore show up here. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to hit back here and then hit start. Now this is going to calculate all based off of the area that you set, how much blocks there are to mine. Okay, now it doesn't have any power, so it's not actually going to do anything. But in this area of 32 block radius and from 0 to level 89, there's almost 18,000 blocks to mine. So let's take a look at this. Now we're going to be generating, we're going to be needing 91, almost 92 RF per tick to accomplish that. If I were to turn silk touch on, that would jump up to over 550, which is crazy. So that's why I brought 5 solar generators. Let's turn that off. Each of these produce 20 RF per tick during the day. So that 5 of these gives us 100 RF per tick. So when I hit start on this thing, it's going to have all the energy that it needs. And since we have auto eject turned on, what it's going to do is it's going to start putting our stuff back here in the chest. So now there is one more thing that I want to show you before I head back and kind of wrap everything up. is we're going to load chunks differently in this mod pack than we did in the farming mod pack. In that one we had an actual item called a chicken chunk loader, and we'd set it down and we could determine how many chunks in a radius that it keeps loaded. This one's different. What we're going to do is we're going to click on, once you open JEI, you're going to click on claim chunks, and we're going to zoom. Actually, we're just going to click on where we're at, and that turns on the chunk that we're standing in, and we're going to hit close, and that's going to claim those chunks and keep them loaded. So if I were to, I think it's F9 shows the chunk borders. So thankfully we built this thing all in one chunk. I didn't even think about that. And this is the center of the chunk right here, the yellow light. Hit F9 again and turn that off. And so when we come in here, we're confident that we know that, I thought there was a way to zoom, that the chunk that we loaded right here is going to cover this entire area. So let's head back to the mining dimension, and I'll show you, I'll come back off camera and make sure that that's emptied regularly. The machine won't necessarily, in the nighttime it'll turn off. It'll run during the day and off during the night, and that's fine. That'll be extra resources that we'll need. Hopefully that yields us some emeralds. Otherwise, because there's no daylight in the nether, but I do want to use one of those digital miners in the nether. So I'll probably use the one that's in the mining dimension right now in the nether. Okay, so here's how much resources this thing made. When I clicked start on this said 22,000 some odd numbers. Now it's down to just under 7,000. I have a chest full of ore here. It's completely full. This one is pretty full. And what I've been doing is that anytime there's a stack of 64, I just come in here and grab it. And then I hit the Z button here to restack up everything. And then just keep looking for 64. I think that's almost all of them. That is all of them. So then I've started a second chest here for the ores. So we have an enormous amount of resources from this one. And this guy, if you look at this at where he's mining, is, we have pretty much, he's just dealing with the inner circle. I could go stick him in the middle of each of these different sectors, and he would mine all the way down and produce us an insane amount of resources. So if I were to go down underneath here, once he's done, I shouldn't see any resources whatsoever. In fact, they should just be holes where there was resources. Here's something. Now, he hasn't gotten to these yet, but a little further down, he's got about 6,000 left to do. But he's going to be pulling out all of these ores. Wow, he's got a lot to do. And I'm not exactly sure how that works. But anyway, so that is the digital miner. And now that we've got two, you'll know you'll know that we're going to be in the money. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Making a into a good video, giving us double the resource generators that we had before. It should skyrocket our progress from here on. I'll work on getting all of the resources ready for our next episode before we start. That way we can kind of move along pretty quickly between now and this next series. It's going to be pretty fun because there are some systems that I haven't played with in a really long time, like immersive engineering, that is going to be kind of like me re-getting into it. I got pretty far into it once. I did not have digital miners backing me up with all of the resources that I could ever want. But we're going to get one of these to put into the nether in between episodes, and that way we can start getting stuff from the nether. So basically what you do is you just come in and you tell it to mine all of the ores, then you add one specifically for glowstone, and that should be it. And then it will collect all of those things. I'll be into the nether getting blaze rods. That way we can have those items being fed into ender chests and then teleported here. That way we can pull them out and do whatever we need to with them. We'll do that with logistical transporters. So all of that and the upgrades will be in the next episode. So come back for that. But for now, you guys take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.